starting to get to the point of doing our flooring now. We're going to be doing a full sheet lino. So we're going to start just ripping up all the little bits of trim pieces and that, see what the floor looks like underneath, and then we'll have to start patching up all the holes a bit better from where the seats and stuff have come out, just to make sure that you're not going to sort of see it through the new flooring. So it's just got the nut on the other side. You just got to lift up and twist or jam something under it. Woo.
Pretty stoked we only need to replace one part of the flooring between the two wheel arches at the back.
Process up until now, I have just resurfaced the area with a wire wheel, getting rid of any little bits of rust, and now I'm going over it with a primer. Here we're test fitting the plywood. Vinny's on the paintbrush and helping me prime the undersides. Now that all the primer is dried off, I'm applying some Rust-Oleum paint. Here I'm just using some black Sicker underneath just to hold the pieces of timber on there so they don't move around or warp or anything. Now I'm fitting down the timber. I've already pre-drilled the holes and got rid of all the swarf. Next I'll just be putting in some screws to fasten it down. Now I'm using a steel ruler as a carpenter's plane, an old school technique. Bit time taking, but it does work quite well for hitting it with a sanding disc. Just filled up the holes in the floor twice now. Just need the final sand tomorrow. Just use some Sicker Super 200. It's just a flexible gap sealer, and I've just ran along all the edges and just scraped it off so then it was level. So today is lino day, hopefully. Bus is a bit of a mess, so I'm going to start clearing it out and then cut up my lino, and then yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll put the glue down, let it tack off, and then we'll hopefully lay down the lino, and then put down a few little trims. We're going to go all the way from just above the first step at the front on a 93 coaster, and then we'll go all the way through the back. So let's get into it. Trimming up the bits for the wheel arches at the moment. somehow I managed to line it up. It's not exactly how it was originally, but it's pretty good. Happy enough with it. I think it's maybe about 3 mil along this line, a little bit skew if. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad with the cupboard. We'll find out eventually. Once you put the glue down and it clears, then lay the flooring. I'd suggest doing half and half like people do, just so it's a bit more lined up, a bit easier to do. Yeah, I thought I could beat it. And then once you're done, it just says that you got to use a weighted roller, but I don't really have one, so. In this next bit, we're just going to install the liner at the back of the bus. So we bought a 4 metre by 3 metre sheet. I've cut a strip off the side because we only needed 2 metres wide for this run. And then with the 1 metre by 4 metre, I've chopped that into 2, and then we can have 2 lengths going side by side here. They'll be running in a different direction as to those floorboards, but it'll be under the bed, so you're never going to see both at the same time. Thought it just worked out quite economically, and really doesn't matter because it will just be in 2 separate rooms anyway. Anything can be a straight edge if you use it right. I've trimmed this up now, so you can see it falls on the inside of that, and then just back from the step. What I've done here is I've just filled up that bit of a gap, just because there will be that area that you'll see, because the trim only comes along there. So just in case you see that little bit of a thing, I'm not sure if you could see it with the original flooring or not, but I just thought I'd fill up that gap a little bit, and then that will obviously get held in place a little bit better as well. What I'm doing here is I'm just chopping the lino back so it sits sort of where that trim's going to be, just on the other side of it, or sort of where it is. More so than, I don't really want it to sit in between the trim, just in case it makes a little bit of a rocky bit for the trim. I feel like if it's at the back, then it's just going to sit down there a bit better. And also I've found with the trims, once they're on there, I'm going to have to trim this back a little bit, because I guess that was the same colour as the back, so you never really noticed it. But when the trims are on there, there's actually parts that you can still see, and that's with following exactly where it used to be. So I'll just trim that up as an afterthought. With this one, not like the other ones, I've tackled it in 2 parts, just to be able to get that so it all looks fine, and then trim this up properly.
And this is it all done. The trims are back on and we are ready to start framing up. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and join us for the rest of our bus build.